Right, let me show you why your Band 6 essays aren't becoming Band 7 essays. It's not your vocabulary, it's not your grammar, it's not even your ideas, it's your bridges. Here's what I mean. Most Band 6 essays look like this. A series of islands. Good islands, actually. Solid claims, decent reasoning, proper examples, but no bridges connecting them. The examiners standing on Island 1, reading your first point, wondering, how do I get to Island 2? And IELTS doesn't reward good islands, it rewards connected journeys. So if you've been stuck at Band 6 for a month, grinding vocabulary and grammar, you're solving the wrong problem. Today, I'm going to show you 3 bridges that every Band 7 essay needs. And once you see them, you'll wonder how you ever wrote without them. Okay, so here's what's actually happening when an examiner reads your essay. They're not looking for impressive words. They're not counting for subordinate clauses. They're asking one question. Can I follow this person's thinking? And Band 6 essays make that really difficult. Let's take an example. Technology improves education, students learn faster, schools use computers, education quality increases. There's 4 claims in there. They're all true, but there's no connection between them. An examiner reading this is going to think, right, okay, so you've given me 4 islands, now where's the map? How do these connect? What's the actual argument here? And here's what's fascinating. English is desperate to show you the connections. The language has built-in bridge words. Because, for example, therefore, and they do this work automatically. The problem is that a lot of students don't use them, or they use them randomly, like they're sprinkling some magic dust on something. Spoiler, that doesn't work. The hidden rule is this. Your paragraph isn't a list, it's a journey, and journeys need bridges. 3 specific bridges. Let me show you. Right, bridge number 1. This is the most important bridge in your entire essay, and many students forget to build it. It's the word because. Here's the problem. A student might write this. Technology improves education. Students access online resources. 2 islands, no bridge. The examiner's brain automatically asks, okay, but why does technology improve education? And you've made them do the work. But watch what happens when we add just one word. Technology improves education because students access online resources instantly. Boom, bridge built. The examiner can walk from your claim to your reason without getting his feet wet. And what's beautiful here is that because isn't just a grammar word, it's doing logical work. It's saying, here's my claim, here's why this is true. And that's what Band 7 writers do. They don't make the examiner guess, they build the bridge. Here's your first repair. Take any body paragraph you've written, find the main claim. Now ask, did I explain why this is true? If there's no because, or since, or as, or due to, then you're missing bridge 1. Fix it. Add the bridge, connect the claim to the reason. And before we continue, if this is clicking for you, I've built a complete 12-week course that teaches you every IELTS pattern like this. Clear, practical, no fluff. Links in the description. Okay, back to bridge 2. Bridge number 2 is shorter but just as important. It's the phrase, for example. Most students either skip it entirely or they use it to introduce kind of vague nonsense. Let's see what I'm talking about. So, take this example. Technology improves education because students access online resources instantly. For example, students learn better. But the only problem is that that's not an example. That's just repeating the claim, but with different words. The examiner reads this and thinks, yeah, you've said for example, but you haven't actually given me an example. And those things are really important. And so here's a fix. An example isn't vague, it's always specific. Technology improves education because students access online resources instantly. For example, a student in rural Vietnam can access MIT lectures on engineering for free, something impossible 10 years ago. Okay, now that's a bridge. You've gone from your reason, access resources, to concrete proof, student in Vietnam accessing MIT. And that's quite extraordinary. Your example does two jobs at the same time. It proves your point, and it shows the examiner you can think in specifics, not generalities. And that's a kind of Band 7 thinking. Right, so your second repair, find your examples. Are they actually specific, or are they just vague restatements? If your example uses words like student, people, society, without naming anything concrete, that's not really an example. That's more filler. Fix it. Make it specific. Maybe name the country, the subject, the time frame. Give the examiner some proof, not what we call platitudes. Maybe that's a good word to learn as well. Anyway, moving on. Bridge 3 is therefore. This is the one that most students don't seem to know exists for some reason, but it's your mini conclusion and it's how you tie your paragraph back to your thesis. Here's what usually happens. Students will write a brilliant paragraph. It'll have claim, reason, example, all connected, and then they just kind of stop. Like this. Technology improves education because students access resources instantly. For example, a student in rural Vietnam can access MIT lectures on engineering for free. Then there's kind of a silence. Next paragraph. The examiner reads this and thinks, okay, good example, but what am I supposed to do with it? How does this connect back to your main argument? You've built bridge 1, because, and bridge 2, for example, but you forgot bridge 3, and that's the one that closes the loop. And listen to what happens when we add it. So, technology improves education because students access online resources instantly. For example, a student in rural Vietnam can access MIT lectures on engineering for free. Therefore, technology has democratized education in ways traditional systems never could. And what's beautiful about this third bridge is that it's not just tidying up, it's showing the examiner your thinking. You're saying, here's my point, here's why, here's the proof, and here's what it all means. And that's the architecture of Band 7 thinking. Okay, and so your third repair, does every body paragraph have a closing sentence? If your paragraph ends with an example and nothing else, then you're missing bridge number 3. Add it. Use therefore, thus, or this shows that, consequently. Tie the loop closed. Show the examiner you're not just listing ideas, but you're building an argument. Let's go over it one more time, and let's put all 3 bridges together and see what we've built. So, the initial Band 6 paragraph, good ideas but no bridges. Technology improves education. Students access online resources. Learning is now easier. Education quality increases. 4 islands. And the examiner, he's swimming. Now, here's the same paragraph with all three bridges. Technology improves education because students can access online resources instantly. For example, a student in rural Vietnam can now access MIT lectures on engineering for free, something impossible a decade ago. Therefore, technology has democratized education in ways traditional systems never could. Same ideas, same vocabulary, same grammar level. But this one has bridges. The examiner can walk from claim to reason to evidence to conclusion without doing any work. That's the difference between Band 6 and Band 7. And what's extraordinary is that once you see these three bridges, you can't unsee them. You'll read native English writing and notice that they're everywhere, because that's how English thinks. It's claim, because, example, therefore. It's not decoration, it's architecture. Right, here's what you do next. Take your last Task 2 essay, find one body paragraph, and check. Number 1, is there a because connecting the claim to the reason? Is there a specific example with concrete details? And number 3, is there a closing sentence tying it back to the thesis? If the answer's no, you found your next repair. Fix those bridges and your next essay will read like a completely different writer wrote it. Okay, and that brings us to the end, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like. Subscribe. Don't miss out. I'll be back again next week. See you next time. Bye.